Charles Hoskinson from Cardano just called out Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse, stating that the Clarity Act is a trash bill and is terrible for the crypto industry. However, because Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple are already grandfathered into this new crypto system, that it's okay, that they are no better than the bureaucratic banks that they started fighting against in the beginning. So I'm going to tell you right now, he's right. And he's right to be angry. He's very angry, basically turning around and saying that Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple are saying F the rest of crypto. We are good. And he's right to be angry. But if you've been following this channel for any amount of time, we have said this is going to happen. This should not be a surprise. From the very, very beginning, we said, or at least I said, the banks are going to win because it follows the golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. They weren't going to give up control over the currency. They weren't going to give up control over the money as without rolling tanks into the street. It just wasn't going to happen. And that's the realistic outlook of what we're looking at in crypto. It's a power struggle over money. Money, money, money. It's all about the money. So let's hear exactly what he had to say. I have it here for you.
And you're a security by default. You have to go beg, borrow, plead, and steal to get your way out of the security side. It's not a sustainable or good model. And then you got guys like Brad Garlinghouse come by like, well, we just got to have no bad bill instead of just no bill. No, you climbed up the ladder and you pulled the ladder up so no one else can climb up with you. That's not good regulation. That's the same oligarchy and nepotism that we all complained about with the banks. And because you're on the other side of the table, now it's good for you. So fuck all of us in the industry and all the small guys. We can't have a system where you start as a security by default. You'll never get liquidity. You'll never get listing. You'll never accumulate a user base. You can't fundraise. It just is a non-starter unless you're going to change securities law. But nobody wanted to change securities law. Then the other thing they did is they didn't want to change securities laws. So you know what they did? They made the CFTC the new SEC. And it's almost like that meme with Steve Buscemi or whatever his name is. He's got like the skateboards, like, hello, fellow kids. Like, hello, fellow people. I'm a crypto person now too. The CFTC is not set up to regulate cryptocurrency. So now you have to create a mini SEC in the CFTC because you don't like the SEC.
So he is angry. He is angry because it looks like the banks are going to get what they want. And this is what we've said from the beginning. Golden rule. He who has the gold makes the rules. If we thought that this was going to be anything other than what the banks wanted, people were, smoking that hopium a little bit. Now, I have a full interview here with Charles. It's 25 minutes. I'm not going to play the whole thing. You can follow me on X. It's at Longview Crypto. I did retweet this out for you. I'm not going to play the whole thing during the stream, but it's a 28-minute stream from Charles Hoskinson talking about some of the stuff that we have pulled up here for clips. He went on in a second video follow-up in regards to this. Here it is for you.
Security by default. And because it looks like XRP might get a pass and be one of the grandfathered in, including Cardano, in this whole process, I guess we just have to pass a horrific trash bill that makes everything a security by default, and it creates attack vectors through bureaucratic nonsense for the SEC to destroy all future American cryptocurrency projects. And also, there's nothing in this for DeFi. Nothing. Uniswap doesn't get anything. Prediction markets don't get anything. Armstrong can't even get his yield-bearing stablecoins. This is not a good bill. A security by default.
It's not a good bill for crypto firms, which is what we expected. We expected the banks to control this. At least I did. Anyone who thought otherwise just wasn't reading the tea leaves. To think that the banks and the governments were going to give up control over currency was a pipe dream to begin with.
This bill, as written, everything starts as a security. XRP starts as a security. Cardano starts as security. Ethereum starts as a security. All kinds of things there. Do you understand that an adversarial SEC, this is a fucking wet dream? You start as a security, all new cryptocurrency projects. The legacy ones like Cardano and Ethereum and XRP will likely be grandfathered in. Everybody else starts as a security, all new projects. And then rulemaking in a room with people, eventually the Democrats who are right now campaigning on all crypto is corruption, crypto equals Trump equals bad, will kick into effect. It'll take years to get through, and then these standards will come out. And instead of having Scary Gary rolling the dice with no law and ambiguity in a court that's favorable to us, they now have HR 3633 with no developer protections. They were stripped out. Everything starting as a security by default, and numerous procedural attack vectors to keep you as a security forever. So people, have a fact-based conversation. Read the bill. Start from source material, HR 3633. And just ask a question. If it starts as a security, what stops them from keeping it as a security forever? And are we really sure that we can trust that to rulemaking that has yet to happen by people who have yet to be appointed by agencies that spent the last 4 fucking years suing everybody and throwing everybody in prison? Honestly speaking, does that make any sense at all to you?
No, it doesn't. And like I said, he has every single right to be angry. As the bill stands right now, it is a trash bill for any new crypto that's coming onto the scene. It keeps them as a security, makes it difficult for them to start up, right? The projects that are already plugged in, right? The projects that are already plugged in with the DTCC, with BlackRock, with all these things, they're already grandfathered in because they're already starting, right? So that's what he's upset about. So for us as XRP holders, what does that mean? That means great news. That means we're grandfathered in and we're ready to go. It means that the legacy cryptos are going to be the ones that win. This is what people were afraid of with ETHgate and the fact that people were trying to keep it to 1, 2, 3 cryptos. But this is not new news. The same thing happened in telecom. The same thing happened in cloud computing. The same thing happened with the internet. It's always 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 winners, right? And everything else goes away. They all can't win. And me personally, I think he's butthurt that he's on the outside looking in because Cardano is not a major player in anything going on right now. They don't have major adoption with the government or with any banks or anything like that. I mean, they're definitely not on the level as things like XRP, CC, like these people that already have institutional projects underway in the banking sector. He's not one of them. So yeah, he's going to be left out because if say we do get a trash bill, and say we do get a trash bill, it goes through, it's terrible for crypto. Say he's absolutely right, and these cryptos are grandfathered in. That means that the cryptos that are already partnered institutionally, that are already partnered in working with governments, CBDCs, that already have the infrastructure rails, that have already built everything out over the last decade, that means they are going to be positioned to win when this Clarity Act goes through. Why? Because we are banking that the banks won't let it happen any other way. They're not going to give up their money. They're not going to give up their control. That's why I've been investing in the institutional assets with real adoption, with real utility, XRP, Canton Network, HBAR, Chainlink, Ondo, things that are already plugged into the system. I apologize. My dogs are carrying on. Someone must be delivering something to my house right now. So I apologize for that. We'll get through the dogs. They're so vicious, let me tell you. But moving on, we have more information, more than just Charles Hoskinson. I will get to the rest of the information as soon as my dog shuts the hell up. One second. All right, hopefully she's quiet now. All right, so I did have a lot of information on X today. Not a ton of news out there other than what's going on with Iran. Now, we do have updates on what's going on with Iran. Keep the chat rolling. I don't know if anyone's in the chat. I don't even know if anyone's watching. I haven't seen a single chat come through. If you guys are in the stream, make sure you keep the chat rolling. We will do a live Q&A at the end of the stream, just like we do with every single stream. But we have information on Iran. We have information on the stock market. Again, if you're new to the stream, we stream at noon every single day, Monday through Saturday. We cover the price, we cover news, we cover everything for our cryptos that we follow, which is XRP, Canton Network, Chainlink, Ondo, and HBAR. Those are my 5 core cryptos that I am investing in for infrastructure for the long view. Right now, XRP at $1.36. Bitcoin has been pulling back today. Not badly, though. I mean, it's at 68,000. It did fall all the way down to 66. Again, when they say expect volatility, that means no one really knows what's going to happen. That's what volatility means. It means no one knows. We don't know. That's what volatility is. So when we're looking at Bitcoin, again, it smashed 70K and came right back down. Again, I want to see it push past 70K with volume to confirm any real possibility of a breakout. I mean, honestly, if we're going to say it's recovering, it needs to pass beyond 70K. Until then, it's nothing. That's the way I look at it. 60K is still on the table for Bitcoin. Now, again, we follow everything we just talked about. My investment strategy is my 5 core pillars of crypto: XRP, Ondo, HBAR, Chainlink, Canton Network, and Ondo. And I have a little bit of XLM in here. That's my daughter's. I also hold silver, copper, gold, and treasuries, as well as real estate and a little bit of alternative energy. So basically, this Robinhood account is like a small version of my overall investing strategy, so I can lay it out for you. Right now, everything is down for the most part, except for XDC and MNT. But right now, the entire market is just chopping up, down, up, down. But when we're looking at what's actually happening here, let me get to my bookmarks so we can go through. Here's your X news for today. Again, still no one talking in the chat. Interesting. Let me see how many people are in the stream. Usually there's at least some people talking. There's 26 people in here. Keep the chat rolling. I have more information for you right now. And if you came in late, I will do a recap and show you everything that Charles had to say in regards to Ripple, in regards to XRP. But I need you guys to keep the chat rolling for me as I get through the rest of the information. So just in, Barron Trump buys 1.07 million XRP worth 15.3 million for the first time. Now, for those of you who know, Barron Trump supposedly has been basically timing all the tops and bottoms perfectly for crypto ever since October 10th, shockingly, right? They call it Trump's insider, or, President Trump's insider. So Barron Trump purchasing 1.07 million of XRP. Iranians turn to Bitcoin amid the war. Iranians are buying Bitcoin and withdrawing it into self-custody, using it as a flight to safety amid the ongoing conflict. Outflows from major Iranian platforms spiked over 700% following the military strikes. So Bitcoin is doing its job. Now when we were talking about the Strait of Hormuz, right, I'm going to talk about Iran here in a little bit for those of my regular people, but we will get back to the Charles Hoskinson information here in just a minute, and I will go over that again. Engage in the chat, everybody. So Iran has announced that it will only allow China to pass through the Strait of Hormuz as an expression of gratitude for Beijing's supportive stance toward the Tehran during the war, excuse me. The strait has now been closed to all other ships without exception. And they say they will burn down or burn any ship that passes through. Huge. Emirate Airlines have begun testing integration to instantly convert XRP payments to AED at the checkout. So again, XRP climbing up the ranks with the Emirates. Breaking. Diesel futures blast past 1,000 per ton, the highest since 2023. Gas oil futures on the Intercontinental Exchange hit a 2-year high, surging 17% at opening, outpacing the 13% spike in Brent crude, which topped $80 a barrel. We're seeing oil spike up. Again, if you are a fan of Jake Claver, he did predict the Strait of Hormuz. I've heard about it plenty from people coming in watching the stream. So that is something to keep an eye on if that is something that you're following. Ondo Digital Securities becomes the first to be admitted for trading under the ADGM. Ondo Finance Digital Securities becomes the first asset admitted for trading under the Abu Dhabi Global Market Framework, now live on Binance Alpha. So Ondo, again, tokenized money market funds that are screaming across the world, right? Again, this is going to be so fast over the next 2 to 3 years with tokenization. People are going to look back and it's going to be too late. Ripple expands Ripple payments, adding custody, virtual accounts, and unified fiat and stablecoin rails. The firm says the platform is now live in 60 plus markets, and has processed over $100 billion worth of stablecoin payments. Again, unless it's bridging things, unless XRP is bridging things, stablecoins don't do anything for XRP. We need more currencies, but we have information on more currencies for XRP. 200. So this is, I've said similar things like this when we talk about how people are feeling in the world. This is talking about millennials, but it's more than just millennials. So the average person, student loans, car loan, monthly rent, credit card debt, another war in the Middle East, AI is taking their job, gas prices about to go through the roof. Welcome to the life of a millennial. Well, I would say welcome to the life of anyone under age 55, really, in this world. Has had a similar experience to this. Breaking news, China has officially opposed the U.S.-Israeli military action in Iran. Duh. Like we needed an announcement for that. It gives them the majority of their oil, them and Russia. What does Yahoo Finance have to say about it? Let's see.
Take us through what you're seeing in markets at this moment. I mean, the bottom has just dropped out here in the early going.
This is a crushing open, particularly in the context of yesterday, Brian. We saw the market open about this week yesterday, and the bulls kind of won, and they were feeling a little smug at the end, and everyone wished they would have bought the open, and they felt cocky about that. This is the nature of bear markets. Whatever the outside catalyst is, when you have what we call an exogenous variable out there, and war is a super big exogenous variable, meaning it's outside of anyone's control. It's not really gameable by anyone on the inside. What you see is just you kind of go to bed at night and wake up in the morning and see how the world has been destroyed while you slept. That's what we're seeing this morning, and I don't think we see a dip into this. It's a time to kind of be happy when you have cash, and just I like to step back and do homework. This is not my first rodeo. I've seen sell-offs like this before, and this has a little bit to run. There's no heroes here.
So Jeff, this is not, I had at least 5 people tell me yesterday, Brian, this could be a tactical buying opportunity. I don't know if I'm going to hear from them today. I mean, this, to be clear, this is not, in your view, a tactical buying opportunity. This is a backdrop where you should be raising cash?
I raising cash with the market down 1,000 points on the Dow, it's raising cash into strength is a much better idea. Mm-hmm. You should probably have a little. This has not been a great quarter and not been a great period for the market. I generally step back as a guy who focuses mostly on consumer stuff. Spring for me is a time to go shopping rather than a time to be kind of really pressing on the gas. You're not going to win a year in the first quarter, but you can certainly blow your year for the rest of the year by getting too aggressive here. It's how much insight does anyone really have on how the Iranians are going to respond to us bombing them? I personally don't. And so I would rather, to your point earlier, crawl into something like a Target. I want to stay domestic. I want to stay with kind of American companies. I want to just chop away at them because you see good stocks getting taken down, stocks that have nothing to do with sort of super high growth assumptions, incredible economic assumptions. Those stocks start getting taken down with the rest of the market as the correlation approaches 1. When you get these big, scary sell-offs, everything sells off. And that's where I want to be buying. And so, tactically, a little bit of cash, hide under your desk and just do some homework.
Tactically, a little cash hidden under your desk, do some homework, dollar cost average in. Sounds familiar, right? No one knows what's really going to happen in Iran, right? Sounds familiar. No one really knows that the market's going to go up and down. We dollar cost average in. We're not trying to time tops and bottoms, right? Take the smart approach.
Take us through what you're seeing in markets at this moment.
Charles Schwab is preparing to launch their own spot crypto trading, including custody as soon as possible. Again, crypto is expanding. It's going to be faster and faster and faster. You cannot put the toothpaste back in the tube, right? It's already started. DTCC is already tokenizing. Tokenized money market funds are already happening. Stable coins are already out there. Like, this is going to happen. It's a matter of how it happens, right? And we're going to get back to the Clarity Act bill and a recap for everyone. Make sure you guys hit the like button if you guys are getting some value from the information. Share it out there to more people before we get into the recap and we could take this thing further. Bitcoin tends to outperform traditional assets like gold and stocks during geopolitical shocks per BlackRock research. And G-Treasury's strategic decisions hinge on how quickly finance can translate data into confident action. Teams that can proactively model scenarios and mobilize cash are setting the pace for performance and resilience. This is why Ripple Treasury is heading to Nordic Cash Treasury. So again, that'll be March 10th through March 11th in Stockholm. And again, you guys can always follow me on X. It's at Longview Crypto. If you guys want to see this information before it actually makes it to the actual stream or video. And then this is from Yuval Ruiz, from the CEO of Digital Asset, co-founder of Canton.
So generally speaking, my view is that public blockchains are the most expensive database in the world, inherently. And I'm not saying that as a negative thing. I'm saying it is because it's just a true thing. Public chains are an expensive database. So the question is, why would you use it? So really the value of public chain is composability.
Yeah.
That's, in my view, the only value of a public chain is composability of multiple assets. From just moving stablecoins from one wallet to another, it's just a central database update. There's no value in decentralization in that place or anything like that.
So that is the view of Yuval Ruiz. This is a 51-minute interview. It's excellent. I strongly suggest if you guys want to check it out, you can. I retweeted it on X. But when we're talking about private blockchains and we can see which way the DTCC, the New York Stock Exchange, the repo markets, we can see which way this is going. Privacy is key. No one was interested in XRP until it was private, right? As far as the institutions go, and we're still waiting on clarity. But that's why Canton Network is getting so many partnerships with these major companies because of the privacy layer. Now, this was interesting. Again, this is speculation, but enjoy.
The war is a distraction from this.
Wait, it's not about their nukes?
No. Iran's central bank counts because their oil and energy is very important, including for China. If you're going to come out with programmable money,
with a revolutionary new payment system,
with digital IDs that are interoperable globally, that controls in each jurisdiction centrally, you can't afford leakage. Iran right now is the big leakage in the system. Now, Larry Fink and BlackRock have said
We need to move very rapidly.
they're planning on trading all stocks and bonds using tokens.
All investments on a tokenized platform.
What it means is this is going to be,
We have one common blockchain.
potentially $100, $200, $300 trillion market. $100, $200, $300 trillion market.
The wars, the Epstein files, the aliens, AI, it's all to keep you from the truth. The power brokers are trying to preserve US dollar dominance at any costs. All the value is converging into precious metals and soon the digital rails. Put your faith in God and he'll...
All right, so now some of this, regardless, this is speculation, but a lot of this is true in regards to oil, right? So let's think about it. 90%, so 20% of the world's oil flows through the Strait of Hormuz. But 70% of the oil that left Venezuela went to China. 90% of the oil that goes through the Strait of Hormuz, I just poked myself in the eye when I did that. But 90% of the oil that goes through the Strait of Hormuz goes to China. So after the Venezuela thing, China started getting more oil from Russia. That's why Russia's okay with this whole war, because that just means they're going to get more money from China for their oil. Now, China is got access to move through the Strait of Hormuz. According to Iran, they are going to allow it thanks to help with previous wars. But make no bones about it. I'll be honest with you. I'll plant my flag here. This whole thing isn't about nukes. It's about oil. It's about controlling oil. It's about controlling currency. And every single Republican president we have had, at least in my lifetime, over the last 40 years plus, there has been a conflict in the Middle East. It's always about the dollar. It's always about petro oil or the petrodollar. It's always about who can control the Strait of Hormuz. Now think about it. If the United States, we just took Venezuela, if we get control of Iran and we control the Strait of Hormuz through alliances, right? Through puppet leadership, the United States now controls the majority of the world's oil flow. That seems important, and that puts us back firmly in control with our dollar. So what happens when the dollar strengthens? Stocks decrease, right? As the dollar becomes worth less, everything appears to be more expensive. As the dollar becomes worth more, everything appears to be cheaper. So as the dollar strengthens, the stock market weakens. So what happens when that? Well, people take flight to U.S. Treasuries. This is why I hold U.S. Treasuries. They take flight to gold, silver. Where is my Treasuries? Let me pull up my Treasuries. Let's see what Treasuries are doing today. All right. So Treasuries are, down $9 overall for me, but they are down a little bit today. But again, we're seeing improvements in gold, silver. Well, we saw gold and silver pull back today, didn't we? Yeah, gold pulled back. Everything's pulling back, even Treasuries. So gold's pulling back, silver. Is it pulling back? Silver futures. Yeah, it pulled back today. So literally everything's down today. Literally everything is down today. No one wants to talk today in the chat. That's unfortunate. I miss you guys. Hopefully there's some people in here. Oh, there's the my chat wasn't even showing up. I couldn't see anyone's chat. You guys are all going. Okay, let me get a replay for everyone who came in late and I will get into the chat. I don't know why my chat wasn't loading this whole time. I thought no one was talking. Excuse me. So this whole time I thought no one was talking. I thought I was talking to myself. So let's do a replay for anyone who came in late. I'm going to start from the very beginning. So if you saw the very beginning, I apologize, but I do believe it's important for everyone to have all the information. So Charles Hoskinson, Charles Hoskinson, there we go, called out Ripple, called out Brad Garlinghouse, saying that that Ripple's grandfathered in under this new structure bill, and F everybody else because you already got what you want, apparently. Let's see what he has to say. You can listen to the whole thing. Here you go. Play.
And you're a security by default. You have to go beg, borrow, plead, and steal to get your way out of the security side. It's not a sustainable or good model. And then you got guys like Brad Garlinghouse come by like, well, we just got to have no bad bill instead of just no bill. No, you climbed up the ladder and you pulled the ladder up so no one else can climb up with you. That's not good regulation. That's the same oligarchy and nepotism that we all complained about with the banks. And because you're on the other side of the table, now it's good for you. So fuck all of us in the industry and all the small guys. We can't have a system where you start as a security by default. You'll never get liquidity. You'll never get listing. You'll never accumulate a user base. You can't fundraise. It just is a non-starter unless you're going to change securities law. But nobody wanted to change securities law. Then the other thing they did is they didn't want to change securities laws. So you know what they did? They made the CFTC the new SEC. And it's almost like that meme with Steve Buscemi or whatever his name is. He's got like the skateboards, like, hello, fellow kids. Like, hello, fellow people. I'm a crypto person now too. The CFTC is not set up to regulate cryptocurrency. So now you have to create a mini SEC in the CFTC because you don't like the SEC.
He does seem a little butthurt, doesn't he? He goes on. Now, I did retweet the full 25-minute thing if you want to watch it, so you have the full context. But it continues on his second video or his second stream that he came out with. He doubled down.
Security by default. And because it looks like XRP might get a pass and be one of the grandfathered in, including Cardano, in this whole process, I guess we just have to pass a horrific trash bill that makes everything a security by default, and it creates attack vectors through bureaucratic nonsense for the SEC to destroy all future American cryptocurrency projects. And also, there's nothing in this for DeFi. Nothing. Uniswap doesn't get anything. Prediction markets don't get anything. Armstrong can't even get his yield-bearing stablecoins. This is not a good bill. A security by...
Oh, TradFi doesn't want there to be a whole bunch of DeFi rewards? Shocker. Only if we knew that was going to happen. He who has the gold makes the rules. They're not going to give up the money. They're just not. We knew this.
This bill, as written, everything starts as a security. XRP starts as a security. Cardano starts as security. Ethereum starts as a security. All kinds of things there. Do you understand that an adversarial SEC, this is a fucking wet dream? You start as a security. All new cryptocurrency projects. The legacy ones like Cardano and Ethereum and XRP will likely be grandfathered in.
Okay, so every new crypto has to start as a security and prove that they're not, and that they are safe to move forward for investing. The ones that are grandfathered in have already done that song and dance. That doesn't seem too unreasonable. Does it seem unreasonable to you?
Everybody else starts as a security, all new projects. And then rulemaking in a room with people, eventually the Democrats who are right now campaigning on all crypto is corruption, crypto equals Trump equals bad, will kick into effect. It'll take years to get through.
So he's worried that the Elizabeth Warrens of the world are going to be the ones that are actually making the rules after this legislation gets passed under its current setup.
And then these standards will come out. And instead of having Scary Gary rolling the dice with no law and ambiguity in a court that's favorable to us, they now have HR 3633 with no developer protections. They were stripped out. Everything starting as a security by default, and numerous procedural attack vectors to keep you as a security forever. So people, have a fact-based conversation. Read the bill. Start from source material, HR 3633. And just ask a question. If it starts as a security, what stops them from keeping it as a security forever? And are we really sure that we can trust that to rulemaking that has yet to happen by people who have yet to be appointed by agencies that spent the last 4 fucking years suing everybody and throwing everybody in prison? Honestly speaking, does that make any sense at all to you?
Yes, it does. It makes perfect sense to me, actually. The sense it makes to me is that the banks are setting this up in their favor. Why? Because they have the money. Why? Because they paid the politicians. This is not new news. If you've been around this world long enough, we already know better, okay? The fact that business and financials and people are going to do what's best for them. I did a video not too long ago. You can always rely on people serving their own best interest in finance, okay? To expect something else is, I'm sorry, I mean, that's naive. When it comes to money, there's no friendships and hopium in the markets. I mean, there's plenty of hopium in the markets, but there's no friendships. They're not there trying to help each other out, okay? Now, is that what Brad Garlinghouse and Ripple are doing? Maybe. I don't think so. But when I was going through and coming up with my investment strategy, I focused on the people who were working lockstep with institutions and banks because I knew it wasn't going to go away. The thought that DeFi was going to take over and completely revolutionize the banking system and get rid of TradFi and all this and that was a pipe dream. It was always going to be some kind of merger, and the people with the money were going to be the ones in control of it. Period. Let's talk to the chat. Let's see how everyone's going, since I know there's actually people talking now. Let me pull it up here, and I will find it. Hopefully everyone's having a good day. I went on a bit on a bender there. Let's see. Hello, Scott. Happy Tuesday, says Stephen Haynes. I can't see the very top, so hopefully I'm not missing anything. Let's see here. I'm under the impression that the entire world is rigged. I'm not too concerned about any specifics. Just make my crypto go to the moon. I mean, the entire world is kind of rigged, if we're being honest. I mean, like, what actually happens on the surface is, I never feel like is the truth, especially when it comes to these big things. I was out last week. I see CC is now on Robinhood and not much of a pump. I was thinking, what happened? Well, in defense of that, Steven, yes, it came out on Robinhood. The volume was there. But again, we don't buy CC because retail markets pump the price. That's not why I buy CC. It did over 500 million in volume when it was announced that it was live on Robinhood and it was live on crypto.com. But it didn't increase the price. If we have to think, if we're investing in an asset that we are focusing on investing in because we believe utility is what's going to drive the price, we can't be super shocked when retail doesn't drive the price. At least I'm not. I mean, retail volume in the end doesn't matter. What the mint burn ratio is what's going to have the biggest impact on CC. And that's why I'm excited about it, because retail doesn't really control it, because it doesn't follow Bitcoin. It's different. Yes, he sounds like a classic case of butthurt. Well, I mean, when you go through all these hoops that like a lot of these crypto companies have been going through for the last decade, and you're getting left by the wayside because people don't want to do business with your project. And we even had Yuval Ruz from Digital Assets CC talking yesterday on a clip specifically about Cardano, basically saying that it's useless because it has no utility on its ledger. It does nothing. He's like, they should transfer to a store of value. At least that way it has a use case. So Cardano is a sinking ship, I feel like. I don't own any Cardano. I'm staying away from it, but it's not looking good. When the CEO comes out and is butthurt pointing fingers at other cryptocurrencies, it's not a good sign. It typically means you are losing, sir. And at least for me, his outbursts are hurting his crypto as opposed to helping it. Aloha Gunpowder, welcome, welcome. Hoskinson, yeah, he's salty as F, yeah. Texas here. Okay, Clint from Texas, that's right. He wants Clint saying that we need to buy the Texas oil, right? Sir Charles, I wonder why Scott can't see the chats. Yeah, I was sorry. Yeah, oil is way up right now. Absolutely. I actually saw a thing on X telling crypto people, okay, time to get out of crypto and buy oil. What do we say on this channel? The time to buy is not at the top, right? If we were going to be stocking up oil for this, we should have been doing it weeks ago, expecting something to happen. I wasn't studying this, right? So that's why I wasn't invested in it, because I was studying crypto and not the Iran conflict and what it was going to do to oil. So, but remember, every single $10 crude goes up, we're going to see about a 25-cent increase at the pump. And it's going to take about 6 weeks for the full effect to hit, right? Because it takes about 6 weeks for them to turn crude oil into gasoline, have it shipped, the whole 9 yards, okay? So when gas goes up, gas is always a major factor because it controls inflation. It really does. Speaking for someone who worked in freight, and I've seen these flows. I worked specifically in purchasing and freight. Purchasing and freight meaning I went and hired truckers to move the freight. So as gas goes up, shipping gets more expensive. Honestly, if I could, I would. I mean, I can't right now because I'm not allowed to work, but I would want to go back. I would want to go back to the freight industry right now because it's gonna skyrocket if this continues. If oil goes up, the freight industry makes so much money, because the cost of shipping goes way up, and it takes a while for the markets to catch up as far as what the top price is versus what the bottom price is. The customers don't know yet, the carriers don't know yet. So like these periods of uncertainty with oil and the markets and stuff like that, this is prime time to make a ton of money in freight. Raul knows what I'm talking about. But yeah, when gas prices are swinging, that is the prime time to make money as a freight broker. Like COVID, for instance, right after COVID, I was making money hand over fist in freight. Because of no one can get a beat on what the actual prices are. So if you're good at your job, you can make a lot of money in that time period. Clint says I should have bought oil. Weren't you the one telling everyone to buy Texas crude yesterday, Clint? I thought you did. What's going on, Judah? Welcome. Charles, in my opinion, is exactly right. He just went over the notes of the Clarity Act. It's messed up. Yeah, he is exactly right. Like I said, I agree with him. And I think he's right to be angry. But I expected this. I've said it many times when we were talking about the Clarity Act and we're talking about stablecoin yield and we're talking about all of these things. I said, I believe, and it may be pessimistic, but the banks are going to win. They're not going to give it up. Doesn't Ripple Prime go live today with derivatives? It does. I'll cover that too. Once I get through the chat, we will hop into some more Ripple talk for you. Clemens, Jonathan, Cardano, and Ripple working together, multi-chain. You think so? You think it's all a hoax? That'd be interesting. I mean, Cardano does have Midnight. It does have the privacy layer, but at the same time, XRPL just updated their own privacy layer. I don't really see a path in which they would work together. Why does XRPL, why does Ripple need Cardano? How does Cardano help Ripple? I know how XRPL helps Cardano, but I don't know how Cardano benefits Ripple. But that's just me. Raul's a little bit late. I'll forgive you this time, Raul. I'll give you a pass. I was late too, but glad to make the live stream. Well, I'm sorry, guys. I couldn't see the chats as we were going there from the beginning. But again, I appreciate everyone taking the time to be here. Make sure you hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, make sure you're subscribed. Helped grow the stream far and wide. I appreciate every single one of you for taking your time to be here. Because remember, your time is the most valuable asset you will ever have in this life. It is finite. There will never be more of it. Period. Forrest Gump bought into a fruit company called Apple and made millions. Hoskinson says, cry me a ocean. Yeah, he's crying. He's crying because he's going to be left out. Bitcoin and Ethereum got a pass, and XRP was held up by capture and held Gary Gensler. Yes. So, but what they're saying is XRP is going to be grandfathered in under the new system. They paid their dues, man. They paid their dues. He sounds like an idealist. You know what idealists sound like? People who lost. People who lost and are crying victim mentality are typically the biggest idealists. I didn't win because of this. I'm standing on my moral code. That's why we didn't win. It's usually what says, okay, here's a prime example. I'll just ask you guys a very point blank question. Who here loves the NFL? Forget NFL. Who loves football? I know I do. I watch the NFL. You can see it on my chair behind me there. Okay, you can see it on the wall. I love football. Okay, if you're watching a game, I love the Chiefs. Okay, I love the Chiefs. I've been a Chiefs fan since 1989. Okay, if I'm watching a Chiefs game, if I'm watching Chiefs versus Bills, and I know that the Bills paid off the ref. Am I going to bet on the Chiefs and sit there and scream at the ref the whole game? Or am I going to bet on the Bills? I'm going to bet on the Bills, okay? Even though I love the Chiefs, even though it's wrong that they paid off the ref, if I know they paid off the ref, I'm not betting on the Chiefs. I'm going to bet on the team that paid off the ref. That's the banks, okay? The banks paid off the ref. I'm betting on the banks, period. That's how it works. Clint, where in Texas? Swapped Cardano for XRP like 6 months ago. I held Cardano for years. Okay, Charles. I held a little bit of it. I switched it to midnight when they came out with the privacy layer. I still have it, but then I focused on Canton for my privacy layer of infrastructure. I haven't sold it. I just have it sitting there in case as a dart throw, as far as the midnight goes. But I don't own any Cardano. Made the live stream. Hello, Tiny Dancer. Hold me close, my tiny dancer. My singing voice is horrible. I've been sick. My singing voice is bad to begin with, but little alone after I've been sick. I think Barron Trump buying over 1 million XRP is huge news. I agree with you. Follow the money. The money tells you where to go. If the president's son's buying a shit ton of XRP, that's pretty damn enticing. You didn't want to pay us. Laughing at I make more money when fuel was high. Well, it's not that we didn't want to pay you, Raul. I mean, okay, let me give you an example from a broker perspective. My last 6 months, I was making an average of $89 of profit per shipment. Okay. I was not making money during my last 6 months. When the markets are down, I'm not making squat, but I do get little 6-month windows about every 2 to 3 years where I can make $400 to $500 a shipment. And again, I'm not an idealist. What am I going to take care of, Raul? I'm going to take care of myself and my family. And I did take care of my truckers as far as trying to get them the best price I could. But I had to compete against other brokers. I had to compete against other people who were doing my job in my work. So it's not that we necessarily don't want to pay the trucker, but just like you want the most money for you and your family, I want the most money for me and my family. And in a typical negotiation, a good negotiation, neither party comes away happy. That's typically how it works. But yeah, I spent years and years of my life bickering over money with people just like Raul every single day, 100, 200 times a day. That's all I did. And you make way more money when fuel is high because the customers, right? The customers, the receivers, the people receiving the product or shipping the product, it takes them longer to catch up on what's actually going on with the market. However, that's probably going to change now with AI and with crypto, right? With HBAR partnering with FedEx. I mean, I'm curious to see what's going to happen with the transportation industry moving forward with automation. It hasn't really tapped too much into that yet. I mean, it has a little bit, but not so much. I agree with you, fam. Time is running out, in my opinion. Yeah. Georgetown, Texas, Raul. Okay. Was a long time Patriots fan before Brady. Okay. I've been a Chiefs fan since '89. So, I mean, I was here long before Mahomes. I paid for it dearly with our 25 years of no playoff wins and all that stuff. So, for me, it was well worth it. Made a huge bank with ADA back in 2021. It's a shame Cardano and Hoskinson seems to have lost their way. Charles is showing early signs of dementia. Well, not only that, but I mean, everyone made a bunch of money in 2021. Let's be honest. I made a crap ton of money on Solana back in 2021 when it shot up to 250. But I have to follow the tea leaves. I have to follow the money. And it looks like a desperate plea of someone who's standing on idealism because they lost. That's what it looks like to me. I hope I'm wrong. I know that's very cold. That's very cruel. But if he's going out publicly doing this, like, and publicly calling out Ripple, like he's upset about something. So we got Hoskinson publicly calling out Ripple and Brad Garlinghouse. We have Barron Trump buying 1 million XRP. Like, I mean, there's just so much stuff going on around it with everything ramping up around the Iran war, around oil, around the Strait of Hormuz. Like, a lot of stuff could fly off the handle over the next 2 months, but that's why we dollar cost average in and build up over time. It's not about the daily price swings. It's about what's going to happen 5 to 10 years down the road. You still hold a little Cardano, Clint? Okay. Again, and I don't talk bad on anyone's crypto, right? I don't know what projects are going to win. I tell you what I'm invested in and why I'm invested in. But if you have projects you're happy about and you're convicted in, I'm happy for you. Me, it's about the system, right? It's about changing the mindset and the system around crypto. About not the pump and dump schemes and the get rich quick, about steadily investing in a handful of assets over time for the long view, so people don't get wrecked out of crypto and think it's a scam constantly. The people who have made a lot of money in crypto are the people who have been buying in over time, and they take profits most of the time. Some people take profits. I don't. Some people take profits when it goes up, but traditional trading, not just pump and dump. Total speculation here, but Barron Trump going into XRP at this point, might we expect a pump in the near term? Pure speculation, yes. Just based on what happened with WillFi pre-1010, right? Remember, WillFi dropped 30% before the 1010 collapse. WillFi pumped before Bitcoin pumped. Like, yeah. Just because of, I think there's some shady stuff going on there. I think it's bullish. But, I mean, it's not making me go buy more right now. But I do think it's bullish. No trading with Spain. So sometime now, they pissed Trump off. So we got something going. I didn't even know we were going on with Spain. We got stuff going on with Spain now, too. The crypto bill is garbage. The crypto bill is geared and leaned towards the banks. We expected this. Period. At least I did. I always said the banks are going to win. They would roll out tanks in the street before they give up control of currency. It's just how it is. It is the biggest negotiating chip in the world. No one's going to give it away. So prime example. You have a little bit of Cardano too, Raul? Good. Prime example. So, number one, you guys have heard me talk about the Middle Eastern conflicts. There's been a Middle Eastern conflict every single time we've had a Republican president, at least in my lifetime. Okay? But yes, the crypto bill is garbage, but again, the banks were never going to give it up. I lost my train of thought. I completely forgot what I was going to say. I was going somewhere with it and just completely lost it. My stroke brain got me. I'm sorry. I would like it for my crypto to skyrocket sooner rather than later. So would I. I mean, so would I. I would rather be a millionaire tomorrow as opposed to 10 years from now. But, you know, we don't always get what we want. Been getting CC now, like it that 15 cents right now. Okay. Yeah, I've been buying it too. I buy it every week, honestly. I buy it every single week. Every single weekend I buy it. The bill says all new crypto coins will be considered securities at the start until approved otherwise. Yes, you are 100% correct. And I do believe, I completely agree with you. Like I said from the get-go, I agree with you. I agree with Charles. It's a trash bill. I expected it to be. The banks weren't gonna give crypto anything. They have full control. They have full power. Why would they? Right? They're gonna do what's best for them. Again, in finance, you can always expect people to do what's best for them. And if you want to stand on ideologies, you can cry from the sidelines. It's sad. It's not good. It's not right, but it's real. We can look back to every point in history, guys. Cloud computing, telecommunications, internet, any technological advance that has happened in our lifetime, the same string of things play out, okay? You have the gold wins. Follow the money. He who has the gold makes the rules. They're going to do what's in their best interest to keep them in power and keep them making money. It sucks, but it's true. That's what I believe. That's why I aligned with XRP. That's why I aligned with Canton Coin. That's why I aligned with HBAR and Ondo and Chainlink, because of their connections with real institutional adoption and partnerships. That's it. That's the truth of it. It's that simple. So now, for everyone who's still here at the end, you guys do know I always try to make it fun for you. It was a very serious one today, but I try to make it fun. So I have something for you today. As always, let me find it. Because, you know, XRP, I think it is ready to start making a move up here in the near future. That Barron Trump thing definitely piqued my curiosity. That's for dang sure. Who knows what's going to happen over the next few months? It's going to be a wild ride, but I am certainly here for it. I do think that 2026 is going to be a fantastic year, not just for XRP, but for crypto as a whole. I just am. All right, where did my video go? Where did it go? Oh, okay. I have some more clips to share for you guys, though, before we get into that. I kind of got sidelined here. So this is what Pink has to say.
It's not about if our market's going up or down. Is there a bubble in crypto or is there a bubble in technology? It's about being in the market throughout the cycle. It's not
being
about
in the market throughout the cycle. Bubbles come and go. It does not change. Hedera is the digital trust layer of the digital economy. Again, with world-class governments, lightning fast transaction speeds, enterprise-grade security, and open source tools, they're easy to build on. FedEx now partnered with them. ADI partnering with Chainlink, coming out with a canonical cross-chain solution backed by IHC, $240 billion plus ecosystem that includes BlackRock and MasterCard. Again, growing the Chainlink infrastructure. Iraq shuts down the world's second largest oil field. So the Strait of Hormuz is now closed to everyone but China, and Iraq is shutting down the second largest oil field in the world. We will see oil tighten. This is going to have an impact. I don't think people understand the biggest real world use cases for crypto is happening right now. FedEx just sat down with Mance Harmon of HBAR and explained why they chose Hedera to track millions of packages a day in 220 countries. Again, this is a larger video. It's 16 minutes. You can follow me on X. I retweeted it out there for you. Charles Hoskinson has completely lost it. Full on Lisp ramping up. Oh, we already saw that one. Okay. Here we go. Breaking. The most critical route to bypass the Strait of Hormuz has been hit. A massive explosion at the port of Fujairah has targeted the UAE's only major way to ship oil without entering the closed strait. Iran is now directly targeting the world's most vital energy source. So supply routes are being attacked. We are going to have why do you think the U.S. has been ramping up on oil production over the last year and natural gas production over the last year? Okay, you think this stuff doesn't just happen on a whim, guys? This is a war for control over oil and control over money. This is about China, in my opinion. Not financial advice, but to me, this is a war about China and economic power. If we gain control over the Strait of Hormuz, and we already took control over Venezuela, we control the majority of the world's oil supply and puts the petrodollar firmly square in control of everything again. That's what this is all about, my opinion. RLUSD Vault deposit cap has been increased to 10 million on Doppler Finance. Again, they filled up their first million in like a day. So now they increased it to 10 million. JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon says stablecoins paying yields should be regulated like banks. If you're going to be holding balances and paying interest, that's a bank. You should be regulated like a bank. I agree. Give them their banking license. Let's do this. You guys want even playing field for everyone? Give them their banking license. Let's do it. What are y'all afraid of? Just get the damn thing done so we can start building, so we don't have to worry about the Democrats rolling everything out next year. Clarity Act update. White House crypto advisor Patrick Witt recently stated this is the issue we believe is the domino that will fall for everything to fall into place. It's time for the banks to reciprocate. Let's see what he has to say.
So the latest is it's passed out of the Senate Ag Committee, the portion dealing with CFTC. We are actively working to get it back on the books for a markup in the Senate Banking Committee. The main issue that's been the sticking point is the stablecoin rewards and yield coming back up in the context of the digital asset service providers, the intermediaries, potentially being able to offer rewards and yield on stablecoins to their customers. We at the White House have convened a number of meetings over the past month to try and solve this issue and broker a compromise here. Crypto, to their credit, has made considerable strides in coming to a compromise position. It's time for the banks to reciprocate and ultimately strike a deal on this, because this is the issue that we believe is the domino that will fall, and ultimately everything will fall into place after that.
Again,
so the latest is it's passed.
Banks need to reciprocate. The banks aren't. Banks hold all the leverage in these negotiations. They just do. And I hear people comment, "Why are banks in charge of coming up with regulation and stuff like that?" Because the banks are in the pockets of the Democrats. This is plain knowledge, at this point. Big. Bank of Japan is test settling central bank money on a blockchain between financial institutions. We know what blockchain Japan uses. I'll just leave that at that. David Joel Katz Schwartz said this seems important for those of you who might be asking about Ripple Prime / Hidden Road. I told you I had the information here. The integration of Ripple and Hidden Road continues to scale. The latest DTCC notice shows Hidden Road officially going live on the NSCC directory March 2nd. Ripple Prime's role in bridging TradFi and DeFi will likely move post-trade volume to the XRPL. Again, David Joel says, seems important. You think? This is what we've been talking about. And again, remember, I give flowers where flowers are supposed to be given. Jake Claver did say that the XRPL would settle the back end of the stock market. He did say that. That's what's happening right here with the DTCC, if that is true. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, here we go. Remember that the CBDC ban that didn't make it to the National Defense Authorization Act, the NDAA, last year, it just resurfaced in the banking GOP's 21st Century Road to Housing Act, released minutes ago. Specifically, it bans the Fed from directly or indirectly issuing a retail CBDC to consumers through an intermediary, but the provision sunsets in 2030. So if this passes through, no CBDC until at least 2030. I think it'll come in eventually, guys. They're gonna leave an opening for a CBDC. It'll be there. Here's the exact reason Bitcoin is pumping right now. This was yesterday. Binance bought 5,000, Coinbase bought, blah, 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 blah. Okay. I'm looking for something specific and I can't find it. Where did it go? This is always funny. Here you go, guys. He's saying ISM above 50 for 2 straight months. Alts versus Bitcoin prints 3 months of green candles. First alts versus Bitcoin bullish crossover in 6 years. The Clarity Act is approaching and realizing it's not if alt season, it's when alt season. All right. I hope so. I would love for it to be true. 4.8% of all household debt is now delinquent, the highest rate in nearly a decade. All right, let me find my video. It's got to be here somewhere. I can't believe I lost it already. That's such a good video. I think it might be at the top. Pretty sure it was closer to the top. Canton and Fireblocks we've already talked about. Crypto traders flock to commodity-linked perpetuals on Hyperliquid's oil perpetual contracts. How XRP holders feel around people who still believe in traditional banking. I have to be careful with this audio. I don't know this audio. I don't want to get copyright issued. Here, no audio. Sorry, guys. No audio, but the visual is the thing anyway that's interesting on this. Just everyone else is completely oblivious to what is happening in the crypto market. Just in general, like if you ask people out in the real world, right? In the real world about crypto, no one really knows anything about it. They just all have their head in the sand. No one knows anything about these crypto projects. They're just focused on going to their job and buying McDonald's and whatever else they got going on that day. Latest VanEck CEO Jan Van Eck says Bitcoin is forming a bottom, arguing the 4-year halving cycle is driving the bear market and that BTC should gradually recover through 2026. I hope he's right. Where's my video? I want my video. Here it is. Okay, I found it. All right. I don't want to ruin it. So hang on. Let me get out of here and get set up. So I try to have something fun for all my regulars to make it to the end. So let me go through the chat real quick and make sure make sure I didn't miss anything else here. You guys are still going 40 watch it, 43 watch it. Let's keep it rolling. We all want to make our fortune sooner. It will happen when it happens, but hopefully sooner would be nice. Yeah, I agree with you. Sooner the better, but again, we're here for the long view. Everyone will have to buy oil from the USA. Would be great. I mean, connect dots, guys. If we get control of Iran and control the Strait of Hormuz, and we just took over control of Venezuela, we're ramping up our own oil and natural gas production while all this was like over the last year. Yeah, seems to be important. Might need to connect some dots there, but that's just me, speculation. Watching the world change in front of us like this is fascinating. Yes, it's very fascinating. And that's the thing. I feel helpless, but I don't at the same time, because I can't impact how the world changes, but I can see it. And I feel like I can see it. Like, I feel like I can see the forest through the trees. I can see the mist. I can see through the fog of crap noise that's sitting in front of everybody to just get to the facts, because there's so much there is so much noise and there's very little fact. And sometimes those simple pieces are easy. Follow the money. Easy principle. Works. Dollar cost average in over time. Easy principle. Works. But they're hard to execute on because of emotion, because of feelings, right? Because of fear. Things that come into the market. The stablecoin yield should have been taken care of in the Genius Act, not the Clarity Act. Agreed, but again, they probably rushed to get the Genius Act done. They kept kicking it down the road. My guess, they cannot give them a bank charter. In the end, the rewards from exchanges will be huge with a banking license and they've been doing rewards for how long? The banks are already in trouble. I agree, and that's why I think there's a huge sticking point of them trying to get rid of the stablecoin yield and leaving it to only authorized participants. So I think they're going to do away with the stablecoin yield. Again, I said that from the beginning, that I didn't think that crypto was going to win the Clarity Act. I thought the banks were going to win because they're the ones that control all the money and all the power. That's just me. Clickle says, I hope Claver is right. I know he gives a lot of hopium, but if he is right, we're all going to be rich. Right. Again, and I've said it from the beginning. I don't think he's right, but I'll gladly be wrong. Because my plan is for XRP over the next 10 years. His plan gets me there much, much faster and much, much richer. So I would love to be wrong in that case and hope that he is right. But I'm not banking my life on it. You know what I mean? I'd love to see Jake Claver Vindiction story because that would mean we're all rich. He messed up by putting such a strict timeline on it all unfolding. Tiny Dancer says, any guess when CC gets on Coinbase? My guess is that Canton Network is probably going to get to Coinbase and Binance within the next 6 months. Maybe the next 3 months. But it's already on Robinhood and Crypto.com now, so I can see Binance and Coinbase coming up very, very soon. But we'll see. They are ramping up extremely fast. But again, retail doesn't push CC. Adoption pushes CC. So quite frankly, I don't really care where it's listed. Because adoptions and utilities is what's going to drive the price. Howdy from South Africa. Welcome from South Africa. Welcome, welcome. Which part? Only part of Africa I'm really, really familiar of is Djibouti. Because I was supposed to be deployed there one time. But that's it. The analogy I use is like being a surfer sitting in the water waiting for the waves to arrive. You can't make waves, but you can see them coming and prepare to ride them accordingly. Exactly. You can't create the waves. You just have to catch the right one. And that is an excellent analogy, Charles. Because when you're looking at it, you can't make the wave. You can think it's going to be a good wave, and it might be a little baby wave. You could think it's going to be a little wave, and it could turn into a freaking swell. You don't know as it's coming up, but you can see it start to form up. That's why you dollar cost average in, right? Excuse me. I need to get rid of this chest cold, man. It's been killing me. Judah said, I have a theory. What if Jake was right all along, but the powers that be pushed the window back? It's possible. I mean, anything's possible. I am not going to sit here and say conspiracy theories and speculation and all that stuff is not possible because the crap we've seen unfold in our lifetime tells you differently that it is possible. Likely? Probably not, but possible. He was so confident on $100 XRP, he got that from somewhere. I mean, he was pretty confident on $1,000 XRP last year, too. Again, I'm not trying to tear down Jake. He did a lot for the community, but he hurt a lot of people, too. I'm sorry. He just did. I got something special for you guys today. Now, real quickly, before I do that, a couple people in the last room, I caught it when I got off there, said that I should do a second channel that's just hanging out and talking, kind of like how I am right now, right, with the live Q&As. I kind of do have that. If you guys are interested, I do have a second channel. I'm putting it in the chat for you. I do have a second channel. It's at Dadcraft Live. I'm sitting there playing a game. Whether you care about the game or not, it doesn't matter. But if you just want to sit and hang out, hit subscribe, put the alerts on. I stream on there maybe once or twice a week. And it's just me hanging out, playing a game. But I'll talk to you guys about anything. If you guys want to talk about crypto, we'll talk about crypto. If you want to talk about the market, we'll talk about the market. But I can't just sit here on a stream all day like this. You know, I have to have some fun too. So I'll play my game or something like that. I'll try to do, I was thinking about when the weather warms up doing a live stream from the golf course on my phone with you guys, because I go golfing by myself all the time. That'd be like a 4-hour live stream. I would need someone else to record shots though. Just trying to think of different things I can do to keep talking with you guys, because I do believe that probably the biggest part of this channel is the community we're forming, the people, the subscribers, the members. So make sure you guys hit the like button for yourselves, because you guys are really the ones growing this channel. I'm here putting out the content, but it's because of you guys that it's growing, and I appreciate every single one of you for that. And if you want to check out the second channel, it's right here, okay? But Lord Patrick Games, that's a new number. That's a new name. I don't recognize that one. Where are you from? Thinking 580. I hope it goes to 589 soon. That'd be lovely. That's a nice 5x from, maybe 4x from my dollar cost average that I'm at. My dollar cost average is like $1.43 right now. So 4 or 5x, 4.5x, something like that. All right, I got a special video for you guys. Hopefully you guys waited around for it. Let me get it pulled up here. Pause. We don't want to ruin it. We don't want to ruin it. All right, are you guys ready? I like this one. This one's pretty good. You ready? Here we go.
Persistent is the future, but XRP, it's really about this very fundamental driver of demand.
My family thinks less of me because I told them to buy XRP, and all my friends quit texting me cause all I talk about's the XCC. When the price rose, it was just like ecstasy, but then it crashed so unexpectedly, and no one's standing next to me, cause I still tell them to buy XRP.
There's the man.
Put all my faith in Brad Garlinghouse, and now I do not have a house. Still figuring the riddles out, and no one knows what I'm talking about, but I still buy my XRP. If you don't like it, you can suck my DM. Buy my XRP. That's just how it goes. Agendas nobody knows, and it's like the things that happen are all part of a show. You either see it or don't. You either will or you won't. But when the price is really low, I fucking back up the boat, and I'm a buy my XRP. If you don't like it, you can suck my DM. Buy my XRP. They call me bag holder number one. While they're laughing, I'm buying more, son. My therapist says let it go, man. I said no, it's all part of the plan. And when the flipping turns the page, I'll be laughing from my yacht's range. Cause every time they say it's dead, I load my fucking wallet up instead, and I'm a buy my XRP. If you don't like it, you can suck my DM. Buy my XRP.
With that, I'm going to end with Ripple has been ready for this moment. The XRP community has been ready for this moment. I'm thrilled you are on this journey with us. It is definitely happening. Thank you very much.
Thank you to XArt. This is the second one I've done. Second one I found. He's done some amazing stuff. You can give him a follow on X. This was retweeted by 24 Hour Crypto. I don't know how he got it, but XArt's the one who made it. I follow him on X. I thought it was pretty amazing video. I thought it was a lot of fun. He does a lot of good work. It's pretty amazing. You play what kind of game? I play World of Warcraft. I play Call of Duty. I play all kinds of games, really. Mainly those two. But yeah, I play World of Warcraft on there too. Yes, you can. You don't do nothing anyways. I got my $2. I hope it goes to 589. AI is getting really good. Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun, though. I mean, it's good and bad. It's a lot of fun. We got an XRP anthem now. I thought it was pretty good. I liked it. The bathrobe was great, Louis. I know, Louis. It was fantastic. That bathrobe was great. 2026, 2077 will be fire. I hope you are right. I hope you are right. Send that to Ripple. I'm pretty sure they know. XArt is the one who made that, and he's made several. And Ripple's tweeted out a couple of them too. So, but he does a lot of good stuff. Again, follow me on X, Longview Crypto. You can have access to all that stuff before it makes it to the stream. That's where I usually find it. Man, the XRP holders are going to be insufferable now. Theme music is on point. I thought it's amazing. I like it. He did a great job. Clint plays Call of Duty. I still play Call of Duty every once in a while on Xbox. I typically don't stream it, but I can give you my gamer tag on there. Should be that one. That's my old gamer tag from when I actually, so believe it or not, for those of you who've been around the channel long enough, this channel used to be a gaming channel. I actually did professional or semi-professional Call of Duty about 16, 17 years ago and built a YouTube channel up to 18,000 subscribers, and then had a kid and had a family and went away from it, and the channel sat dormant for 15 years. And then I restarted it back up as a crypto channel, and that's where we are today. So I actually used to do semi-professional gaming back in the Black Ops days, or Black Ops 2 days. Black Ops. Back in the Black Ops days, I was ranked in the top 200 players for Call of Duty. Judah is on Ascension. Okay, so I just I got the Midnight expansion, and I'm doing Midnight now. I just hit level 90 yesterday because I had the early expansion, the pre-release or whatever it was. So I actually started playing the Midnight expansion on World of Warcraft on Thursday and got to level 90. So I'm working on dungeons now so I can gear up for the raids. But if you guys if you're familiar with that stuff, you know that stuff goes hours and hours. I'm just sitting there. I can hang out, talk, whatever. So add the channel, subscribe. Dadcraft Live, I put it in there for you guys. And that was my gamer tag on Xbox. I'm not on there a super lot, but if you guys want to add me, you can. I'm on there playing Call of Duty sometimes. Marine 1 Alpha is a PlayStation tag. It's all cross platform now, right? It's all cross platform. Xbox and PC can still play with whatchamacallit? PlayStation, right? And I wonder, I think my Game Pass transfers to my PC. So I should be able to play Call of Duty from my PC and stream it also, instead of just on my Xbox, because I don't have a capture card to stream my Xbox like I used to back in the day. I used to do all that stuff back in the day. Let's see here. I'm going to close this poll. How'd the poll finish? Close the poll. Yes, it's rigged is the clear. Oh, no. The clear winner is just Pump My Bags at 47%. Yeah, that seems to be accurate, right? I think it was a great stream. We are dying down. We're down to 28 people now. It was a great stream. I appreciate everyone taking your time to be here. Again, follow me on X at Longview Crypto. And again, you can add the second channel at Dadcraft Live. I do stream on there, usually once or twice a week if you want to catch and have some extra conversations with me, as well as the members only live stream every Wednesday. It's only $7.99 for a membership, and it will get you everything that rolls out in the future for my founding members. Okay, I'll leave this roll one more time for anyone who wants to listen to it again before we get out of here.
Persistent into the future. But XRP, it's really about this very fundamental driver of demand.
My family thinks less of me because I told them to buy XRP, and all my friends quit texting me 'Cause all I talk about's the XCT. When the price rose, it was just like ecstasy. But then it crashed so unexpectedly, and no one's standing next to me. 'Cause I still tell them to buy XRP. Put all my faith in Brad Garlinghouse, and now I do not have a house. Still figuring the riddles
Charles,
out.
if I could go,
And no one knows what
I sure
I'm
as hell would be in
talking
the front row.
about, but I still buy my XRP. If you don't like it, you can suck my DM. Buy my XRP. I guess that's just how it goes. Agendas nobody knows, and it's like the things that happen are all part of a show. You either see it or don't. You either will or you won't. But when the price is really low, I fucking back up the boat, and I'm a buy my XRP. If you don't like it, you can suck my DM. Buy my XRP. They call me bag holder number one. While they're laughing, I'm buying more, son. My therapist says let it go, man. I said no, it's all part of the plan. And when the flipping turns the page, I'll be laughing from my yacht's range. 'Cause every time they say it's dead, I load my fucking wallet up instead, and I'm a buy my XRP. If you don't like it, you can suck my DM. Buy my XRP.
And again, if you're new to the stream, we stream every single day, every single day at noon, Monday through Saturday, noon Central.
With that, I'm going to end with Ripple has been ready for this moment. The XRP community has been ready for this moment. I'm thrilled you are on this journey with us. It is definitely happening.
I'll see you guys tomorrow.